Hey guys, this is Impact Hall of Famer Gail Kim, and you are watching the Countdown City WrestleCast.
Hey, heels and baby faces, welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC, joined this week by Mike.
Mike, and this is 2020.
And Tommy.
Hey.
I found a new soundboard. I'm having fun with it. I got Tommy to laugh here. So we're just going to have a blast with this thing and see if we can incorporate this somehow.
Hey, JC, how are your editing skills?
Pretty good.
Cool, because I see a button that's really close to me that might make you have to hit the beat several times.
Oh, man. Well, thankfully there is one. So I already have like the sensor in there. Yeah. So if you plan to cuss, just do that. Anyway, our Twitter account is at @CCG_WrestleCast, and you can subscribe to our Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel. If we piqued your curiosity enough, please give us a subscription. Let us know what you think of the show as well. So we always love to hear it.
Hit that bell and subscribe and do things.
Yeah. That's right.
I don't know. I don't YouTube.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it works.
And today we're going to be recapping WWE Super Showdown briefly, and then talk about AEW Revolution.
Thank you, Lord.
Yes, great show.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to a WWE pay-per-view that actually matters, and that's Elimination Chamber. Yeah.
Wait, this was canon?
Well, that was a great joke. I think Mike said that. This is not canon,
Yeah,
right?
Mike said that. Sorry, Mike. I didn't mean to still.
No, that's
Full disclosure, not all of us watched Super Showdown, but honestly, I saw snippets. I saw pieces of it. There's good, a lot of bad. Basically, Super Showdown, we'll jump right into it. Super Showdown was the show where the part-timers went over the full-timers.
Yep.
And not so
sure, it's the road to WrestleMania. It's that time of year again. So.
Better than WrestleMania?
Depends on what's in the contract that they signed, so maybe.
Let's just get to some notable results here.
Yes, please.
Thank God we didn't pick this because it probably would have gotten bad. Let's be honest with you. Okay, first rule, if we're ever going to pick a match on Super Showdown, there's some sort of tournament or gauntlet match, you pick somebody that's not even in the match at this point.
Yes.
So for next tournament, I'm picking Hornswoggle all the way.
Also, you always choose Mansoor.
Yes.
Always. Oh. Yes.
Doesn't matter. You don't even know what match he's in. Pick Mansoor.
Oh, wait, so my Cesaro wins every match. Didn't quite pan out then? I
Not
guess.
really.
Because I held out hope for the women's match, but he didn't show up in time.
Well, this is interesting. So I think I think the ones that stand out that were great results and great matches, Miz and Morrison defeating the New Day for the SmackDown Tag Titles.
Match. I saw parts. I saw like snippets of it.
So. Bayley defeating Naomi. First time a women's title was defended in Saudi Arabia. Great match. Bayley's promo after the match, though, on WWE.com exclusive YouTube was hilarious.
I didn't see that.
No, I missed it.
Yeah. It was how honored you be to be a part of this. Well, it is a great honor. It's a great honor for them to see me wrestle here. So she just went straight.
Really?
Yeah, it was great.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, she stayed in character. It was awesome. So
it was great for them to see me wrestle.
I know when she showed up a couple days before, she was like, Saudi Arabia, your role model is here.
Yeah. As long as she stayed in character, which is awesome.
So. I mean, I can't get mad at that. I mean, hell, I approve. That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. She did a good job. So
I did see, and I thought this was kind of odd that in the Miz and Morrison versus New Day match, as much as we kind of make fun of the Super Showdown, it's really cool that there's like Smart fans over there too, because apparently they were like trying to get a small thing going for Miz and Morrison, and like they were doing their chant, and they were actually going against New Day.
Wow.
Really?
That was kind of funny. Yeah, like a small group, and apparently they were on camera side.
Nice.
Trying to get behind Miz and Morrison and doing that hey ho or whatever.
Yeah.
The new Miz and Morrison one is. So I thought that was
That's
kind of
That is cool.
That's pretty cool.
So the fandom is stretching out there. You mentioned the crowd. If there's anything great about these shows, whether they sell out or not, the crowd is intense. They are the show.
The crowd is really cool.
So they're pretty awesome. They enjoy what they're seeing, which is kind of cool. Now, the three controversial results. They had the Tuwake. Is it Tuwake? I don't know how to pronounce it. Tuwake Trophy Gauntlet match. I apologize if I mispronounce it. Yeah. Rey Mysterio gets taken out, and Undertaker shows up. And I know this is just setting up the match with AJ Styles.
What?
At WrestleMania.
You mean Taker wasn't there to steal a championship?
Does he really need it? I mean, but it is kind of messed up that he shows up, doesn't even have to take his coat off, chokeslam, done. And AJ's kind of planting the seeds because today on Raw, he pinned Aleister Black with the arms crossed and everything like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, yeah, full on heel. Undertaker AJ is obviously going to be on the road to WrestleMania.
You know what this kind of almost weird to pointless way of starting a feud reminds me of was WrestleMania 18 when Edge and Booker T faced over a Japanese shampoo commercial that actually wasn't real. Like how this non-canon event is taking place and it's starting.
You say non-canon, but it's entitled to change hands.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, AJ was like seconds away from joining the OC as, they're the greatest tag team ever after one of these super shows. So, I mean, he just wanted his trophies so OC could have all the international trophies, and Undertaker just said nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
Take it away.
And we used to complain about like the Authority was so over, and we were done with like heel Stephanie McMahon and Triple H and GMs. Mm-hmm. No one makes rules anymore.
No,
I mean if they had a GM, I'm pretty sure it could be like, whoa, Taker, look, we know you're a legend, but you're not like you were in this tournament. Like no one's there to stop him from walking out.
But that's the thing.
Maybe we need them back.
Even when they had a GM didn't do shit at these shows. So, the other controversial, Lesnar over Ricochet. Yes, we saw it. We didn't think it was going to take a minute and a half, but it did. Yay. Fun. Poor Ricochet.
I mean, at least you didn't get the Kofi treatment.
Yeah.
Where's the rim shot?
Rim shot. That's the drum roll. It's this one. There you go.
There you go. I just saw a drum set. So
yeah. Anyway, now Goldberg over The Fiend.
Okay, this is the one thing that
3
actually
minutes.
did make me laugh.
Goldberg found a way to turn the heat lamp off. 4 spears, and I think a half kind of a jackhammer later.
It was really more like a suplex slash flip
it was
over.
trouble there.
It was a hammer.
It was a hammer.
No, it was
Didn't really jack,
jack.
it was just a hammer. You're correct on that, sir. All right.
Nailed it.
So, anyway, here's my thing. Obviously, as we saw on SmackDown the very next day, they set up Roman versus Goldberg. And to be completely honest, as we heard rumors leading into it, we were thinking it was going to be Roman versus The Fiend. They're going to find a way to work to that. And I thought that would have been a pretty cool story. They could have built something up from there. But then they put it on Goldberg, and they want Roman Reigns versus Goldberg. And my thought is, this is why fans booed Roman Reigns, is because you're booking him in bullshit.
But I'm really surprised they didn't mention that while they were in Saudi Arabia, Roman actually went down to Rio de Janeiro and won a #1 contenders tournament for the SmackDown title. I don't know why they didn't mention that. They made it seem like he just came onto SmackDown and said, "I'm next." Like he just put himself in the title. But he went down to Rio de Janeiro.
Good Lord.
The hometown of
was so serious.
the hometown of many of the most famous tournaments in the history of WWE.
Why you always lying?
God dang, dude.
Sorry, I wasn't here last week.
But he was so sincere when he started.
And then he went, oh, my God. So,
And I should have known. Like he said Rio de Janeiro that he was lying. I was like, oh, my God. Why was I listening so hard?
I love you, Mike. We missed you.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so back to this. I feel like the win, Goldberg's taking the win over The Fiend. It shits on everybody who challenged The Fiend and lost, including Seth Rollins. It's, again, like I said from the start, we started talking about it. This was the show where we'll put the part-time guys over the full-time guys and make them look like shit. That's basically what this was. And it sucks.
It does. To me, for The Fiend, not so much. I mean, because like apparently he's got this thing with John Cena now, which that came out of nowhere. But whatever. But
Yeah.
I was one of the people who didn't like it but couldn't stop laughing.
Well, I know because you love when the internet goes apeshit.
I love it when the IWC loses their collective minds, and I just thought this was hilarious. I was like, okay, and that was right. There was a lot of people who lost their minds over this. And I was like, that's funny.
I just feel bad because I feel like people are going to give Roman and Goldberg the Lesnar Goldberg treatment that happened at WrestleMania so many years ago.
It's also good. It's going to be like that, or I feel it's going to be like the Triple H Roman match that we saw
At 32?
At 32.
Yeah.
Like honestly, and if they legit try to main event with that, like
They better
that's
not.
That's what I was gonna say. If they main event, then yes.
Yeah, because
that's gonna happen.
Lesnar McIntyre has to go on last this year. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah,
It
yeah.
really has to. So
they said, and not to kind of get off tail with that, but they set that up really well tonight on Raw at the very beginning of the show. And I know I feel like I just watched and I was like, that was awesome. But then I was like, it's too long to WrestleMania. They're gonna find a way to mess this up, but
I hope not, because they're doing such a great job with it. Whereas the booking around the Universal Championship has been shit. I don't know. I'm not saying Roman doesn't deserve it. I just feel like it should be Roman Fiend. But I guess maybe John Cena decides to come in and say, "I want to wrestle the Fiend." Okay, we got to find a way to give John Cena the match against the Fiend.
Yeah, so, I don't know how it played out, but like, we talked about this before. Like, I don't know. I don't think the Fiend should have ever been around the title to begin with. I think they booked himself into a corner by doing that, but
they were getting away out of it if you put Roman into that position.
Right. But then also, Roman's been stuck in this feud with Corbin, which I'm sorry, like it got old 5 months ago.
Thankfully, it is done after their cage match.
No, I know, but like they didn't give him any momentum.
Yeah,
like I don't think fans are all hyped because he finally put away Corbin. Like that should have been done like 3 months ago.
Back to your original thing. Either you win the Rumble or you win a series of matches against Baron Corbin, finally win that feud, and then you get a title shot. Maybe that's the way to do it.
Yeah,
think about that.
All the dog food involved.
You did say that. It does seem like it to be the case right now.
So it's the way to do it, I guess. I'm gonna have Tommy rolling over here by the time we're done.
Yeah. By the way, the tournament in Rio de Janeiro was just Corbin 6 times in a row.
Shut up.
It wasn't. There were just 2 people in the tournament. It was like 6 matches.
Why do I do this? I have my own YouTube channel.
Because you enjoy it so much fun here. That's why.
True.
Because then it just becomes the Mega Powers 99.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to put a stop to that. So
anyway, I won't say Super Showdown was all bad. There's some good, but a lot of the main booking around some of the main title picture, just the part timers, it sucks. It ruins it. So, but talk about the problem. Also, is like now we're going to Super Showdown, and 2 days later, AEW is going to answer with Revolution. And good Lord, we're not going to rate Super Showdown. We didn't watch it fully. It didn't seem fair to rate it, and
I don't know if we would care enough to rate it, even if we had seen it.
No, I mean. Based on the results of what I've seen with some of the highlights, I probably would have given it around like a 3. I wouldn't go too far down. I mean, some of the others. The crowd was great. So
I will also rate the Pyro a 5. That's the one thing I love about seeing clips from those shows.
They
is
go
like
crazy with the Pyro.
Their budget for Pyro for one show is like higher than WWE's for like 3 years.
It's higher than the collective Pyro for like New York and LA at New Year's Day.
Seriously,
My
it looks
God.
like
for sure.
So anyway, it is worth checking out at least for some of the matches on there. Pick and choose what you want. Thankfully, on there we can skip around. So now on to Revolution.
Oh yeah.
When we had recorded last week, we only had 6 matches on the card, based on that we picked off of. They did later, but before we get into Revolution, let's go back to last Wednesday. That Iron Man match between Kenny Omega and Pac to open the show.
I thought it was going to main event the show.
Good Lord, the fact that it opened though was awesome.
It was.
I was watching this while I was building a new couch we got from IKEA. So it actually made building a new piece of furniture pretty pleasant.
The words of a married man I know, because I'll probably be uttering something similar sometime in the near future.
We're gonna have a busy weekend. We're gonna go to Home Depot, Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't know if we have enough time.
They made the shipment that day. It's like, you know what? Put on AEW, watch this match, and build me a couch. That's how it works.
I can't say anything.
Hashtag married life.
Yep, I'm in the club now. It's over.
Yeah.
So.
I like IKEA though. It's fun. It's a blast.
I have to go in there. I haven't been there yet.
It's awesome. Pretty soon, your whole house is gonna be full of that shit. Anyway, Revolution though was amazing. Saturday pay-per-views, well worth the $50. Honestly, I think the match that only. I said Darby versus Sammy was going to steal the show, and my God.
It technically was. I was looking at it. Technically, it was only like 5 minutes.
I know, because they did everything else before that.
But I like that. I can't even lie. I like that. That made it feel like a real grudge match, and I like that kind of stuff. And I mean, that's probably the old ECW head in me, who loves that kind of stuff. So I'm not even really complaining. I like the official match time was 5 minutes, but the rest of it was probably like what 15. With all together, probably like 15.
And honestly, with the crowd reaction Darby's getting, I could see him in the world title picture, possibly champion within a year.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was actually thinking
he
the
is
same thing.
awesome. I really love to see him wrestle.
His like pop is ridiculous whenever his music is.
Yes. It's
So
insane.
for such
Getting very similar to like Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
It was
Yes.
kind of in that initial run. Yeah.
Yeah. And kids love him too. I think there was a video circulating that he shared where a kid was kind of dressed up as him on the Jericho cruise. And Darby saw him, walked over him, and he just was so happy to see him. So it was pretty damn cool to see.
Yeah, I finally found a picture of me meeting him. It was after not GCW, AEW show when they were in Austin, and he was walking around, and he's a super nice guy. He's very, very personable. You wouldn't think that because like his gimmick is just so, but he's really a super nice guy. And he's not like real talkative, which is fine. Right. I'm talkative, so I understand everyone is. But
it works.
But he's just a super he's just a real nice guy, easygoing guy. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
One other match that actually stood out for me, even though it was kind of hidden in the show towards the end, was Orange Cassidy versus Pac.
I freaking love that.
Say what you want about it, but from the onset, we've seen Pac as this very serious, very crazy wrestler, but he showed he had a little bit of a comedic side. Where he was kind of answering Cassidy's kicks. Trying to stop him from putting his hands in his pockets, and they had some great sequences there.
I from watching early Pac stuff, I knew he had a comedic side, but I hadn't seen it so much since he started doing the bastard gimmick, which again is not bad. I mean, he's doing a new thing. By all means, go for it. It was cool to see that again, and the fact, and whenever Orange kept rolling out of the ring so he couldn't hit the Black Arrow, he'd put him back in, he'd roll out the other side.
And that one time he finally met him, and Orange Cassidy smiled at him. He's like,
The one thing that threw me off too is when Orange busted out a Superman punch. I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute!"
I mean.
But the funny part was because that, and I always laughed at people online who said he can't wrestle, he doesn't do anything. I was like, you guys have never looked up at Orange Cassidy much before? Are you kidding me? He's fantastic. He's probably gonna have the longest career out of anyone in wrestling because 98% of what he does is pretend he's lazy. He's gonna be doing this until he's 80 years old,
and he's so over because of it too, man.
But when he decides to try, like Chuck Taylor, he's gonna try. Oh, real quick, that moment on Dynamite when they had Tony Schiavone in the ring and they all did the group hug and he put his sunglasses on him. That was my favorite non-wrestling moment right now because I was like, that was so cool to me. I don't know why. It's
so great how over he is and the fans are getting behind it too. So.
Actually, I also liked from Dynamite the week before with him and the Bunny from Blade, what is it, Blade, Butcher and the Blade. And Bunny. Yeah. When she took his glasses, so he took her ears.
Yeah.
That was also really funny.
It's like little things like that. I mean, okay, so this is where my thing with people who are critical of AEW is like where I don't get. Okay, first of all, that's just funny. Mm-hmm. It's comedy. Let it happen. If R-Truth did the same thing, we'd all be praising him, rightfully so, because R-Truth is also hilarious.
Yes.
So's Orange Cassidy. It's just something else that's happening in the show. Let it be. It's funny.
It's a different brand. It doesn't have to be WWE.
Yeah.
It's
more
entertaining to me.
I just whenever people like rag on, I'm always like, if you don't like it, that's cool. I mean, you don't have to like it, of course, but don't like it for the right reasons.
MJF and Cody, as crazy as that match was, I felt like this feud is long over.
From over?
I mean, I think there's still at least one more match.
Yeah. Okay, that's what you felt like it was done. But
no. I think there's still at least one more match in it. Probably a Double or Nothing.
Like I said, I think they're leading to a stipulation match of some sort.
I did thoroughly enjoy how they did it though, with everything in the match. I thought it was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Of course, my standout matches, aside from the main event, which I think we'll get to when we get there, is the tag team match.
Yeah.
The one that we all got wrong, surprisingly.
I was legitimately shocked.
Yeah. I really thought the Young Bucks were going to be taking this. They kind of teased it too on Dynamite that there was going to be some friction with Adam Page too. So,
So my question, were you going to say something before I say?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask. Okay, so now speaking of that interview, it's almost kind of like the Bucks are turning heel.
Right, that's actually where I was going.
I was like, is this like the Bucks are turning heel and we might get like face Adam Page? And where's Kenny Omega gonna land on that? You know,
because when I sent you all the notes for the show, because it was the day before, I mentioned, I was like, I think Hangman's going heel. I thought the Bucks were gonna win the titles, and then he was gonna turn on Cody. And I even mentioned for stuff that happens later on in a minute when we talk about it, that maybe Hangman as a heel is going to be contending for the title, but I agree with you. After that interview, and they really, go, you were just a jobber from ROH.
Yeah,
and
and
all this
we
stuff.
brought you into the Bullet Club and all that kind of stuff.
I think they're going to kind of make him that kind of anti-hero.
Yeah.
And again, I know we always say stuff like this, but in a similar vein to Austin. I mean, he's even got the beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That magic picture that appeared in the backstage segment was hilarious.
Yeah. So, that was kind of a turn, and the Bucks are so natural at it, kind of just being jerks and cocky, and I think they can.
They made
do
a
it pretty
career
easily.
off of it, and pissing off Jim Cornette, which everybody loves.
I mean, at this point, I think you have to breathe at the wrong wrestling show, and that can piss them off.
Yeah,
but anyway,
that turns you face though.
But
Nah.
see, but like even their behavior during the match, like when I think it was Matt was ripping off Kenny Omega's like shoulder tape and everything. That I was like, what's happening with what's happening with our vice presidents of this show?
Now, Nyla Rose got a fairly easy victory over Chris.
Yeah, I mean,
Statlander.
we
thought
it was
that
pretty decent,
simple.
but yeah, it was a decent match, but
yeah.
But the main event.
Main event, that's what I was running to lead into. So, Moxley, wow. I mean, what a show, what a main event. The crowd was definitely behind Mox. It was all over the internet once he had the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And all of us were very happy. It's the year of the Mox. I said it when we recorded last week. This is he's arguably the biggest star outside WWE right now, possibly bigger than a lot of the stars WWE has.
Yeah.
He's the United States champion in New Japan, and he now is the AEW World Champion. So he's damn near untouchable. There's the recent Lillian Garcia podcast. She did an interview with Renee Young and asked about Moxley. And she says, honestly, he's happier than he's ever been. And he's actually enjoying wrestling. This is his passion. This is his first love.
I believe it.
And getting out of WWE and getting to do everything he wanted to do. She said he has that attitude. Who's like, if you want to do it, just go do it. And that's how he does it. He just goes to do it. He figures it out as he goes along. So it's very cool. He want to go to Japan, do all that stuff. And he's living the dream basically right now.
I like how he snatched his iPad off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even Jericho made some comments. I think it was before, but it was out of character, so he wasn't being le champion.
Yeah.
But he was talking about he kind of helped recruit him to come over from WWE, and he was like, oh, this guy will be good. He'll be someone to build off. But he even said like seeing him now and like just what he was once he got the freedom, like it's night and day. The way he just seems so into it and energetic and just so in it. And he says he could tell back in WWE. That even when Jericho had been back there, that he just wasn't into it as much as he is now, with all the freedom and the ability to do what he wants.
Because he didn't have that creative freedom. He has that. He has that mind for it. Like he knows what he wants out of it.
I love the story of the whole match though. Was just him overcoming the basic super. It's like it reminded me of like
simple story, but
like reminded me of old school guys WCW trying to fight off any number of NWO guys or anyone who tried to beat Triple H during Evolution's run, which of course how successful that was. Poor Booker T. Anyway, but no, I just like that simple storytelling, and then him ripping off the eye patch and then hitting an elevated paradigm shift or Death Rider, depending on where you're from, on what side of the Pacific Ocean you watch wrestling on. because I was watching it, I was like, oh, Death Rider, paradigm shift. What am I watching? What company is this? Where am I? Who's there?
It's like finishing moves have multiple personalities, basically.
And at this point, I'm like, I watch so much wrestling on the same screen. I'm just like, I have no idea what I'm looking at anymore.
Now, Road to Double or Nothing, Mox is champion. We've mentioned Hangman Page. Do you think they are setting up Page versus Moxley on that road, or possibly Omega versus Moxley? Because we haven't really gotten that yet.
Honestly, I think it depends on if one of them loses if they lose the tag titles, then it can be one of them before we get.
I think they will lose it by probably spend the next month and a half. Honestly,
probably.
Plus, I feel like you got to kind of start Mox with a couple heels. Like I don't know, a kind of mixed face doesn't seem like the best place to start with him.
Maybe, but you could.
It'd be great matches.
They might try to put. They might try to do a title match on Dynamite before we get there. Put it like try to get MJF in there.
And I think with the records,
I
think with the records being reset with the new year, I think Omega is undefeated right now. Yeah. So it seems like that's the collision course. So.
That's one reason why I like that they don't have a pay-per-view like right after right away. Like everything else is like kind of they can like have the big shows like for each. City, something like that. Well, not every single show. Of course, then again, the past couple weeks they're cards have been stacked. But like shoot, the past it's like the Dynamites right before and then after Austin and during the Austin shows when they were here, all those seemed like pay-per-view quality shows. I was like, dang, man.
All right. As for the picks that we made on our results from that, Tommy went 4-2. Mike and I each went 5-1. The one we all got wrong, of course, was the tag title match.
And I got the Cody. And
you went right or die with Cody. And
I went right or die with Cody.
You died. Now, our WrestleCast rating, 0 to 5. 5 being WrestleMania 17, 0 being December to Dismember. Tommy, what is your rating for AEW Revolution?
4.9.
Ooh, my God.
4.9. I think that the only kind of like slow matches to me were just kind of like the women's title match, which is no offense, and like the what else was it? Hager and Rhodes was not as big a hoss fight as it was, but I thought it could be a little bit better. But again, not knocking it. That's just my personal opinion.
It was early on in the show. It was a good start to everything.
But that's what I'm saying. I think if it was like later in the show, it probably would have been a lot more heavy hitting. But I think it was a good, really solid opener. I just know both of them can like pull out a lot more out of each other. So I'm hoping we'll see more out of them in the future. But 4.9 because I thought the whole show was a good payoff to a lot of things, and I think that was kind of a good swerve. To me, it's a swerve that the Young Bucks did not win the tag titles.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
It's a swerve if they're the ones that end up becoming heel.
I mean,
the way they set those
but like, come on, you have a company that they helped start, and they aren't the tag team champions yet. Who would have made that bet when AEW launched?
That's true. Everybody figured, they're booking their own company. Cody's going to be champion.
Cody's going to be champion. Right. The Bucks are going to be tag champions. Everyone's going to be coming after them, and literally none of that has happened.
Yeah.
This was like the first time anyone from the Elite even had a belt.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Cody can't go after the heavyweight title anymore.
Not anymore. No.
And the first tag champs were SCU.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is correct. That's very true. As for me, I'm going to say 4.75. All the reasons you made. This was a great show. If there's anything AEW does supremely well, better than anybody in wrestling right now, they tell a story. They build it up great. They pay it off well. And honestly, when I'm watching it on every Wednesday, yes, it's TNT, but it doesn't feel like Nitro. It doesn't feel like Nitro.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't.
This is something new, something different, and they do a different brand of storytelling.
It's the lack of RoboCop.
JR is getting more and more comfortable with this roster. Him and Shivani are working more and more together with Excalibur as well. So, 4.75. Yeah, there was some lulls in it. Still a great show. It has me really looking forward to Double or Nothing, which arguably could be like their big WrestleMania type show.
I think so.
Mike, what about you?
I'm going to go not exactly in the middle, but kind of between 4.85.
Okay.
A lot of the same things you said. I mean, this was an incredible card. I still think their women's division is just not quite hitting its stride yet.
Yeah.
The
I think
matches aren't horrible.
Yeah.
They're just, I don't know, they're missing something, and I'm not quite sure what it is yet to really kind of pull you in. Same thing. I actually think it was kind of odd to start with Hager and Dustin. And maybe that's just we're kind of brainwashed now that you start with some sort of up-tempo tag match or something, luchador style. I just thought it was kind of an odd thing to start with, but I mean overall it's just a great show. Up and down the whole card. Just really solid.
I think they started with that more to get Hager's debut kind of out of the way, just to see how he would do.
Yeah.
And didn't do too bad. Looked maybe a little rusty here and there, but he was fine.
Yeah.
So, overall rating 4.83. Not too shabby. AEW. Good start to the pay-per-view year for you guys. You mentioned the women's division. That's probably. It's not to say that the talent is bad or anything.
No.
I think they're. How can I put this? They're undetermined yet.
Yeah.
What they are. What I like about them is that they're all very young and very hungry.
Yeah.
But okay, better term, they're unproven. Sure they've been wrestling a while, but to the audience that we have here in the United States, no one really knows much about them. They really feel like you have to prove themselves to the audience when you compare them to the rosters of Impact and WWE.
I guess that's true. And also there is no women's Jericho or women's Moxley that's kind of like the big name that came in. I mean, big to WWE, more
big
casual
to the
audiences.
U.S. mainstream audience.
Right.
Right.
So I guess there is something to that, yeah.
But Nyla is definitely a big time heel that everyone could be chasing for the title. I could at this point actually see her holding this championship for probably a full year before somebody knocks her off.
She could, but I feel like they just keep setting up for like Hikaru Shida to beat her because I feel like they want Shida and Britt Baker to go at it. But
how soon? I mean, I feel like you need a big time run with this, you know. So, like, are you looking at Britt Baker and Shida by the end of this year, or when are you thinking?
Probably by the end of the yeah, either
Okay.
in the end of the year or what was the pay-per-view that got all this started off in August?
September was now it's called All Out, but All Out was the original. Yeah,
All Out. Yeah.
So, yep.
Cool.
4.83 as I mentioned. So, more to look forward to. Double or Nothing. I'm excited for it. That is Memorial Day weekend. That's their next pay-per-view on their agenda. So.
Mm-hmm.
And summertime is really kind of when they come into their own. I'm not sure if they're going to do another Fighter Fest in June with CEO Gaming, but we'll see. So now back to WWE. It's Elimination Chamber weekend. Yeah, they kind of just throw this all together, right? So, and this should be the last one before WrestleMania. Yes, no Fastlane, please, dear God, no.
You notice how we all stayed really quiet after you said that, just like.
We haven't seen the end of Raw.
We did turn it off before we started recording, didn't we?
Somebody check Twitter. Okay, so
Business Man comes out, and by the way,
Fastlane
after Elimination Chamber.
Fastlane. Roadblock.
Oh God.
Brock Lesnar in a gauntlet match versus each member of the New Day, Ricochet, R-Truth.
I see a pattern there.
Wait, R-Truth, Too Cold Scorpio, Ezekiel Jackson, Primetime Felix Skipper.
Scorpio Sky. Wait.
See, Vince, why are you having Brock fight all the black guys? Shut up! And why is the Bobby Lashley in that list?
Yeah, right.
You mean Lana's husband?
Mm-hmm. Anyway, let's get to the chamber. As of recording, we're recording this on Monday night. There's only 4 matches announced. 2 of them are actual chamber matches. But we know the way WWE likes to do it when they throw a Super Showdown. That's the other thing. They time these Super Showdowns like they have barely any time to pick up between shows, right?
No, they don't.
They'll probably add maybe 1 or 2 more.
And the pay-per-view will still be 4 hours long.
Right, yeah, exactly, right? So, which, you know, it's whatever. So, we'll start with the Intercontinental Championship match, which is a bit confusing because it is a 3-on-1 handicap match. Strowman defending against Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro, and Sami Zayn. Tina's not joining us. She didn't make her picks. Strowman to retain here is what she's picking. I think Strowman's going to retain. I have a feeling Mike is really hopeful Cesaro gets the pin and possibly takes the title here.
Okay, so honestly, in all seriousness,
Yeah.
I know it's kind of early to take it back off him, but I also feel like with WrestleMania coming up, is he just going to be in an Intercontinental title match this year? They usually kind of use him in some sort of like gimmick thing.
Battle Royal.
So I feel like if you have the bad guys win, then you set up a multi-man match for the IC title. Because let's say one of them gets the win. Who keeps the title if it's 3-on-1? Is it just Nakamura? Is it the man who pins? I feel like you have the ability, if the heels get the win, to then set up a multi-man situation for the belt going into WrestleMania. Even if it's Braun and these 4 now
like
in the title
facing each other.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the heels. Going to go out on a limb there
Okay.
to set up shenanigans into WrestleMania.
Who do you think gets the pin? Won't affect your score, but I know you're hopeful Cesaro gets it. Is that basically the rule? Whoever gets the pin gets the title?
That's what I mean. I don't.
Yeah.
They're never going to say until the match. Honestly, if I had to go with my head, it would be Shinsuke
Okay.
to get it back.
But your
My
heart
heart
says
says Cesaro. without a
Okay.
doubt.
I'm just going to write your name like halfway in between those names right here on this board. So.
Although I also love Sammy.
Yeah, no,
can't
you
hate
do.
Sammy.
Yeah, but you want more cowbell.
Yes.
All right, Tommy.
Damn, he made a lot of sense just now. Crap, that really messed me up. You and the soundboard. Damn it, Strowman. I'm going Strowman.
You're going Strowman. All right.
Yeah, man, dude, damn it, you messed me up. I was like,
I
wait,
know,
I
just having
actually.
fun with this. You know,
No,
so-
not you, him.
Oh, okay,
Mike.
He did.
Hashtag
All
and Mike. Anyway.
All right. Elimination Chamber match for a shot at the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania 36. Natalya versus Liv Morgan versus Shayna Baszler versus Asuka versus Ruby Riott versus Sarah Logan.
Is there any chance?
Is anybody not picking Shayna in this? Because Tina's already picked Shayna.
Sarah Logan, am I right?
Oh, great stuff.
My head pick Shayna, of course.
Yeah.
My heart says eliminate her first. And
Then swerve
actually-
the whole crowd?
Yes.
Okay, can we do head and heart picks?
Sure. But
Okay.
your head pick's going to count.
Like we
Yeah,
we all agree
problem.
Shayna.
Then we're all picking Shayna.
We're all
right?
picking Shayna.
Okay,
but
fine.
My heart says Asuka, just because. I don't care.
Oh,
Okay.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to put a heart with Tommy's name here.
My heart would actually be Ruby Riott.
That's
Okay.
actually not a bad pick.
Yeah.
My head and my heart are Shayna because, damn it, I want to see Shayna. I want to see Shayna, and I want to see the promos back and forth between them and Becky Lynch because Shayna's gotten pretty good at promos. So that's you know.
She's gotten better. Let's not say good yet.
Okay. I mean, it's money. So
I mean, she did say I'm gonna. Never mind. Y'all saw the. Last
I don't.
one.
I don't. I just don't want to see more vampire shit. Let's be honest here. That was dumb. You know.
So
Makes
again,
sense.
I'm not saying she's gotten good. I'm just she's improved.
Yeah, didn't we do it? Have we dealt with Twilight enough? God.
Have we?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. It was like 3 or 4 movies, right?
I don't know. I never paid attention to it.
I don't know.
Look, my ex maybe drug me to 2 of the movies, okay?
Robert Pattinson still hates the mention of it, so that's kind of funny.
He does?
He doesn't
Maybe-
want to get typecasted to it. Now he's Batman.
Maybe he's not so bad after all. I might have misjudged him. Maybe he's okay.
No, like in all seriousness, I thought that too after the movies, but like I started hearing a bunch of things where like he signed the contract, and after like the first movie or two, he was just doing it because he was contractually obligated. He doesn't like them at all.
All right. Robert Pattinson, maybe you're not so bad after all. Maybe I should
We'll see
take
how the
things
Batman
back.
turns
Hey,
out. Anyway.
remember Cedric Diggory.
Yes. Damn it.
Okay. That's actually a really good point. I didn't think of that.
As a fellow Hufflepuff, that made me sad.
Okay, I take it back. You're right.
Yeah.
I'd so be Ravenclaw.
I don't know what I'd be actually.
Why are we getting into Harry Potter?
I have no
all
idea.
right.
We did. Never mind.
Cedric
SmackDown Tag Team Championship is an Elimination Chamber match. The newly crowned champions Miz and Morrison, who did win these at Super Showdown, going to be defending against New Day, Usos, who were on New Day's podcast this week. Part 1.
Good
God, that was hilarious.
I haven't listened
First
to it
10
yet.
minutes
Y'all
talking about twins.
Yes.
Are y'all stupid? This is why they think wrestlers are dumb.
Okay, I got because you were telling me, but I got to go back and listen to it. Okay.
Oh my God. Against Heavy Machinery, against Lucha House Party, and Ziggler and Rude.
Okay, real
Everybody's got a name except Ziggler and Rude.
So
Well,
real
Miz
quick,
Morrison.
before this got set, I didn't see the SmackDown segment where they set this all up.
Yeah.
So I saw the match announcement, and all I saw was, Miz and Morrison, New Day, Usos, Heavy Machinery, LHP, and I literally sat there for like 5 minutes going, LHP? What tag team? Like, I forgot Lucha House Party was a thing. They're like,
Don't
we
worry.
need extra tag team. I was like, LHP? What is that? Oh yeah. So I was like, oh right, they're still there.
Yep. It's like what is it, the Colognes? They still have a job, So,
And I feel bad because I legitimately love the guys at Lucha House Party, but I feel
it's like
bad.
one of these days, Crime Time going to show up on TV. They're still hired, right? Because they were, just sitting there for a while.
It's gonna
Fun
be
fact: they will be in Dallas March 27th. Anyway, go ahead.
That's true.
This is
He's gonna be like the guy from Office Space.
No,
Yeah, he got
Vivian
fired a long time
Stapler,
ago, but
by
he just
glitch,
keeps
he was
going
still
back to
getting
work.
paid. Yeah,
I hate y'all.
hit the building on fire. All right, Tina picked Miz and Morrison to retain, them having recently won the titles. I'm throwing a swerve in here only because I feel like they're going to pull some sort of thing where you're going to get Miz versus Morrison soon. So I think the Usos are going to win the titles at the Chamber. Throwing that out there. I might be the only one.
No, I'm thinking Usos will win it too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like their stuff since they've been back, which is like the stuff they were before they left. But I don't care. I like the Usos.
Okay. Mike, what about you?
I might have a really bad record for this show, but I'm gonna go Miz and Morrison to retain.
Okay.
I mean, I don't.
You're not alone. Tina picked him too.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't doubt that they would set up Miz Morrison eventually, but it just seems like an odd thing to have them win the titles at Super Showdown and then give them right back a week later.
Well,
not that they've always done things like that,
but since it was a non-canon show, they have to set the universe right. Barry Allen ran back in time and just screwed the
like
timeline
some Disney
again.
Plus show kind of thing here or something like that.
Yeah, well,
CW.
or CW. Barry ran back in time. It cost Flashpoint. Somehow Goldberg was Universal Champion, and Miz Morrison won the tag titles. Damn it, Barry!
It's always screwing up the time.
And then the only other match announced, the Raw Tag Team Championship. The Street Profits, who just won the titles on Raw today, are defending them against people they just won. Beat them again. They just beat for the titles, Seth Rollins and Murphy.
There's no way that they lose just now.
They're over right now.
Yeah.
Tina's got the Street Profits. I got the Street Profits.
I got Street
We all
Profits.
got the Street Profits.
Yeah. There's
that was easy.
no way.
I'm going to go ahead and name a fifth match.
Okay. What's that?
It's either going to be Angel Garza or Andrade versus Humberto Carrillo.
Is Andrade back from his suspension yet?
Well, he was at Super Showdown.
Oh, he was.
So
He just showed up like
Surprise, motherfucker.
basically. Is that what happened?
Well, it wasn't a surprise. He was listed as part of the tournament.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, because that made a difference.
Touche.
Yeah. So, all right.
Bet money will be a triple threat. I bet money.
But like they're going to be like, we need more people for this. We need more matches for this.
Because you
If
can't
it's-
fight
if
for the
it's-
United States title
if-
unless you have Mexican descent.
and Vince is gonna be like, put the 3 Mexicans against.
But
God damn.
can't you just see Humberto, Angel, and Andrade like running to separate parts of the room? Like, no, stay away from each other. Like, where's those two? They haven't fought in 5 minutes. Let them fight
Oh,
again.
God.
They hide behind the couches and the chairs.
Do you think Vince knows that there is an Angel Garza and an Andrade? Do you
I don't think he
they're
knows the
two different?
difference. I don't think he does. Can you imagine Kofi walking in the room and seeing like Andrade hide? He's like, "Don't worry, man. He thought I was R-Truth for like 2 months." Big E walks in. He's like, he thought I was Bobby Lashley for like a year until he signed this again. I think he remembered when he watched the episode of Impact by accident. He said, "What the hell is Big E doing on Impact? He signed with us, damn it."
Bobby, I didn't know you played football in Iowa. What are you doing with all that hand chalk? God dang it.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's our preview of Chamber. Let's just
Remember when you
stop
helped shave my head?
Big E's like, Big E's like, I thought it was weird when you were coming out with Dolph Ziggler and AJ Lee. I wondered why I booked it that way. Man, Bobby, I had you do some weird stuff. Why were you in a choir?
Y'all having too much fun with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Tell me that some of those stories don't sound plausible, at least a little bit.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, they mentioned the story on the podcast how them doing the entrances for the Usos, they pitched it like a year before they started doing it, and all of a sudden they was like, "Hey, you want to try that entrance? What are you talking about? You guys pitched it. That was a year ago." So they needed they tried okay, try polish it up in a week. Let's try again. Like Vince remembered it from like a year before he finally said, "Hey, let's do it." So that was pretty hilarious.
Well, we made this joke a long time ago. You remember when they first came out? Because they talked about on the thing real quick. They came in, they were on TV for 3 months, and then they were off for like 2 years. Do you remember when they were preppy with Snuka's daughter at very first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They came out, and we were like, "Oh man, these super skinny kids," and then they just disappeared forever. And that's what they were talking about today on the podcast.
Wow.
I wonder who else is still in WWE that we just do not realize, and I wonder if Vince just forgot
The
to.
clones.
It's time to
Besides
get
that.
a roster update, right? So
Brian Kendrick is still there apparently.
eventually, if he runs out, of people for the U.S. title, the clones are going to make a shot. It's just how it's going to happen. So let's move on to our 1 minute warning before this gets too crazy.
Gets.
All right.
Oh my
Hey,
god.
I'm on the countdown to spring break, man.
I know, man. You and my wife, they're looking forward to this. So she might be on the show next week because she doesn't have school to teach. Yeah. So, all right, Mike, we're going to start with you because I have a pretty good idea what yours is going to be about.
Oh,
You ready?
yeah. So I was,
Set.
we can get started.
Go.
I was watching the show from last week, and y'all were over here congratulating the Bellas about getting in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, gosh.
And I got something to say about this.
What's that?
Congratulations, Bellas.
Not
You
at
know
all where I
what?
thought where that was going.
You know what? Look, let's be honest.
Surprise, mother.
Y'all know I'm not a fan of the Bellas.
No, neither
But
am
at
I.
the same time, I'm kind of a fan of the Bellas. On my TV wrestling, not so much. As human beings and persons and women, yeah, I'm a fan of them.
Okay.
And in all seriousness, the biggest problem we've always had, and you kind of mentioned it, is WWE went out of their way to tell us that these two were the greatest women wrestlers of this generation that they were in. And that's what always sucked, because we knew that they were not. Like, it was obvious. But in all fairness, what they've meant to WWE and what they did, I mean, they came a long way from just being eye candy whenever celebrities would show up during the guest hosting of Raw to being wrestlers. And Nikki, you know, they both got pretty good, but Nikki really did improve, especially into her last title reign. They were never elite, in my opinion, but you know what they did for WWE. I honestly don't hate them. I hate WWE shoving them down our throat. But and I agree with what you said last week. You know, I wish Victoria and a few other women would have had a chance to go in first. But I also know there's politics to it. So
yep.
I know y'all thought I was gonna crap on the Bellas.
Yeah, I was like, but no.
I mean, if I get to see Nikki Bella, that's cool. I'll just turn a mute, and you know.
Yeah. I thought you were also going to congratulate him for getting your younger sister into wrestling.
They did do that. My sister, my younger sister used to watch Total Divas,
Total
and
Beveth.
then Total Bellas.
Total Beavis and Butthead.
Yes, mess those up.
God damn it, Beavis.
Total Beavis. That would be a cool show.
Nailed it. Imagine Beavis and Butthead on Total Beavis.
Hell no. Oh my God.
Actually,
it's a horrible idea.
You couldn't do that show in 2020. Never mind.
You cannot do that show in 2020.
You could, just not late. We have to do it late at night.
You would.
Paid service.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Tommy, what's your 1 minute?
I hate the fact that you're doing that so well. I guess as I grew up pretty much banned from watching that show.
I could still do that.
So
yeah.
Yeah, I got one.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Go.
So mine's kind of sad because I learned the other day that the Japan promotion, it's kind of an indie promotion in Japan, Wrestle One, started by Keiji Muto, is shutting down. And that kind of breaks my heart because I thoroughly enjoyed Wrestle One. I liked what Muto-san was doing there, and like how a lot of young guys were getting over there. News that kind of has me about is that it's rumored that they'll try to become NXT Japan. To that I say why, but that's a whole nother video because to me NXT UK kind of makes sense, but Japan has a global audience. It's got New Japan going right now. They have Stardom, which will probably get their own thing soon, and Noah even has new owners. Kind of like again, last 3 years they probably had 3 different owners, but they might get like some kind of streaming service. To me, NXT Japan is kind of like you're almost shooting yourself in the foot if you're not careful, because if you try to compete with the beast, the absolute juggernaut that is New Japan right now, you're gonna lose. You can't fight New Japan on their home turf right now.
Yeah,
you can't do it.
Agreed. And you know, you can say the same. Well, New Japan's coming to America. Yeah, but New Japan of America is not trying to compete with WWE.
Yeah,
they're just trying to get it to broaden their audience a bit.
Yeah,
they're not trying to take any market share.
I think, and with New Japan of America, their main thing is like they're just giving the American fans access to the Japanese wrestlers at like house shows. They're not getting a network and trying to like create their own stable. Well, I mean, they do have their dojo. But like that's the LA dojo. That's one place, and it's like that kind of thing. But NXT Japan, it's like it can work. I'm not knocking it because I would love to see more Japanese wrestlers get their due because there are a lot of great promotions out there. There's like a ton of Japanese indie promotions. So and I would love to see more people get their due. More of the Joshis, more guys who just don't make it for whatever reason. But just be careful. Do the show great. Don't ever think you're competing with New Japan on their turf.
Nope.
With WWE, you got it on lock here in the States. Get over it. New Japan has it on lock in Japan.
Wouldn't surprise me if they try to throw some money to buy Wrestle One though.
I did hear this one rumor that scared me to no end that Triple H's pet project is trying to get to sign Okada.
Yeah,
that
scares that for years.
That scares the hell out of me.
I think Okada said he's not going to go. He makes
I know. He makes so much money, and like he's a god over there, man.
Yeah.
It's like
just say remember TNA.
Oh man! I keep hearing rumors that they're trying to like work that out because
it's Impact.
That's the way they treated him.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like because of that. That's the very reason they would never. So that's another kind of.
You don't even have to reference TNA. Look what they did with Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah.
I mean, if Okada's going over, he better be sticking to NXT because that's where he'll be a star.
Yeah.
You know,
because
That's really all it comes down to.
Because I don't did Nakamura resign or something?
I don't know. I was just thinking Triple H comes out of retirement to beat Okada when he comes to WWE.
Oh,
That would. Oh my God. Can you imagine the fan reaction to that?
You know, the match would only be like 20 minutes, and like 3 Rainmakers wouldn't do it or something like that. Oh my God.
You suck.
Yep. Be the fan reaction.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. All right. Mine is I don't generally like to talk rumors, but I'm hearing a lot of people thinking that Bianca Belair is somehow going to get added to Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte at WrestleMania for the NXT title. And yeah, that sounds cool. Nothing against Bianca Belair, but there comes a point where wins and losses do matter. It has to matter. And Bianca Belair one-on-one has not beaten Charlotte, and she has not beaten Rhea Ripley. She's lost to both of them within a matter of weeks of each other, very, very recently. There's no reason why she should get added to the match to make it a triple threat. It makes no sense. Regardless, I mean, women can have a main event type match at WrestleMania without it being a triple threat. The WrestleMania we went to, they made it a triple threat. Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte. It was great. Last year's main event, Ronda, Charlotte, and Becky. Yes, it was great. But we're getting Becky. We assume Becky versus Shayna. I see no reason why Charlotte and Rhea Ripley could not just tear the house down by themselves. I think they've earned that right to do that.
Yes, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
You think they're somehow like overcompensating for the number of years they didn't have women like in WrestleMania period?
That's very possible.
I mean, honestly, I just don't think he has. Vince has as much confidence in one-on-one women matches on big stage.
Yeah.
Like, if you think back to NXT, to some of the classics that, Bayley and Sasha and some of those other ones. But on the main roster, I don't think he has confidence on WrestleMania stage or some of those bigger ones. He feels like you got to add more.
I think he overthinks it, though. I mean, that's part of the reason why they've changed this whole Fiend versus Roman, somehow thinking that's not going to sell. We got to make it Goldberg versus Roman. It's like, no, it's why do that? Why? It's WrestleMania. It's going to sell no matter what.
I also think that Vince just lost his touch at the slow burn booking, because there was a time he was actually good at it.
Yeah.
Like he actually did have the ability to slow burn book very well.
Part of it might be pressure from investors when you think about it.
Part of it might. Mm-hmm. I mean, but even with that, I think there's a way to do it where, okay, in the few times I'll say this, Vince McMahon at some point has had to have known what he's doing. Mm-hmm. He got the company to where it is. And he's probably had investors before that probably put him in a tough spot, but he's had a mind to know how to do it. So maybe this whole Goldberg thing was probably part of. Maybe that was part of that. Who knows? We'll never know.
Yeah,
because he'll probably never say. But at the same time, I think there's ways you can do it where everyone can kind of walk away happy. I think the thing with Brock Lesnar matches that pisses me off so much is that they're not even worth watching.
Mm-hmm. Because it's a waste of time.
Yeah, they haven't gone 5 minutes in 5 years. You have not seen one Lesnar match go over 5 minutes in 5-10 years.
Think about it. Since his return back from the UFC, what has been the most entertaining Brock Lesnar match since his return that you can remember?
I mean, there's been the AJ, the Finn.
Those two, the one with Daniel Bryan was kind of entertaining.
Again, I know what you're saying, but I mean, he did have that little run there for a little bit where we started realizing, the quicker, more athletic, good wrestlers can get something out of him. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean his matches, like the Kofi though, the one just the Super Showdown, the Ricochet, like there's no point to that. Like,
mm-hmm.
And the only two that stick in my mind are like when he first came back and he fought Cena in Extreme Rules. Mm-hmm. And then
that first one was a squash too.
Yeah,
and the first one was horrible to watch, and then they made him like super untouchable, and then they had to realize that Cena had to get him a little bit, at least.
Yeah,
looked like he could hurt him.
And the other one was when Seth Rollins cashed in at WrestleMania when they were in the main event.
That one stands out, and honestly, the only honestly decent match between part timers was Goldberg Lesnar at WrestleMania when Lesnar finally beat him,
and that was kind of just the redemption from when they screwed it up the year before.
Yeah, exactly. Years ago. That's the match they should have had, and it was very well done. That was the one time they actually got it right. So.
And with the Goldberg Reigns thing, mm-hmm. I mean, for them, you're going to see Goldberg and Reigns all over as we get closer. TV shows, daily shows, talk shows. It's real. I mean, as much as we enjoy the character on wrestling, you can't. I mean, maybe you can send Bray Wyatt not being the Fiend, but if it's the Fiend that's going to wrestle, you can't really send the Fiend to do talk shows and late night TV and make appearances on Good Morning America.
Depends how late night of TV we're talking here. You know, so
Well, see,
and I think it's just Reigns and Goldberg are names everyone can get behind. The family can be like, oh yay, these good old guys.
yeah.
I don't know. I still think it's kind of a cop out because.
Oh, I agree. I'm just saying. I think that's the thinking.
Vince had Undertaker in his scary because like in the '90s and that was the scariest dude of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they were doing a different product back then too.
Yeah. It was all about characters and gimmicks and all that stuff. So. Before we close out the show, though, I do want to mention a pretty cool campaign we've just discovered that started today called This is KAYfABE or KAYfABE. It is apparently a new sort of Kickstarter being put on by Gail Kim, Lita, and Christy Hemme. And
or also known as Team Hot.
I believe the Kickstarter page is kickstarter.com/KAYfABE. You can also look for it on YouTube. They have some videos that they put out there.
Yeah.
They're building up a goal right now so they can film some sort of a pilot. They're looking for a lot of fan feedback. It appears to be a real passion project. They're going to tell some real stories. And in the promo of it, you heard a lot of snippets of podcasts, interviews, some real things that happen backstage. And it sounds like they're going to push the envelope on what is real, what's real backstage, what's kayfabe when it comes to wrestling. So I'm actually very intrigued by this.
Yeah, me too.
Same.
Obviously, Mike and I hear Gail and Lita, and if there's one thing we know about all three of those women, they have a real passion for wrestling. So for them, this is going to be a huge project for them. And I want to see it.
Also, if you check it out, there's other people involved. The Jimmy Jacobs and Chava Guerrero are the two biggest names after the women that are involved in the project as writers and kind of stunt coordinators. And it seems to be like it's going to be almost like a television show, like not a soap opera
documentary almost.
Right.
Yeah, almost like a dramatized documentary.
Yeah, they're going to have wrestling, but they're also going to have stories and like you said, talk about things that go on backstage and kind of reenact them or maybe do similar stories under, different names and stuff like that. So
you can start a full on promotion with that kind of thing. Just make it like Chikara or something like that.
Like
I like their Instagram page too, where it's just them holding
Lucha
signs and then it's all related to some maybe things that they've had in their career, like know your place and that kind of thing. And I like how they're doing this.
And I still say whoever said to protect the business was absolutely Jim Cornette who said that.
God, give me a break.
Can't help it. He probably
said it. He's a freaking moron.
He probably had a full on coronary during Revolution when the Young Bucks were wrestling.
God dang it, Tommy, what are you talking about?
As soon as Cassidy got in the ring.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I can't wait for the Young Bucks book to come out so he can immediately trash it without having read one page of it. Yep. It's the worst book about wrestling ever. It's like, it comes out tomorrow. It will be the worst book about wrestling ever.
All right. WWE Elimination Chamber is this Sunday, March 8th at 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Don't forget, this weekend is Spring Forward. You got to move your clocks up an hour. Yes. That's right by spring break, though.
Real quick, I got to tell you this. We were actually at church, and our lead musician said out loud, "Ugh," and the whole choir heard him, fell out laughing. It was so funny.
Embarrassing.
Yeah.
All right.
I hate you.
Kickoff is at 5 o'clock. It is from the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and, of course, will be on WWE Network. Our Twitter account, of course, at CCG_WrestleCast, and you can subscribe to the Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We hope you have enjoyed the show. Next week, we will be recapping WWE Elimination Chamber. I don't know if we're going to talk about the Ring of Honor anniversary show. I know that's coming up. I think was it next week or the week after?
I can't remember. I can't remember either.
We may or may not talk about it. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll figure out what to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot to discuss after Chamber because that's pretty much going to be the final setup on the road to WrestleMania. We'll kind of give an update on that. But before we close out, we will talk some title changes. There was quite a bit. Moxley, of course, won the AEW World title. Goldberg, Universal Champion. Street Profits, Raw Tag Team Championships. Miz and Morrison, SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And Roosh won back the Ring of Honor World Championship from PCO.
Did you hear what happened?
No.
Apparently, Nick Aldis came in and interfered and attacked PCO, leading to Roosh being able to get the ring.
Interesting.
They're really building up this whole strictly business versus villain enterprises thing, and I very much like that.
So interesting to note that Roosh is Ring of Honor World Champion, Dragon Lee is ROH TV Champion,
Now he's one of the few.
And the Nexus Squad are the 6-man tag team champions.
Now he's one of the few guys who is the 2-time ROH World Champion.
Yep.
It's him, Austin Aries, Lethal, yeah. And then I think just Adam Cole was won it 3 times.
Pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thank you everybody for watching. It's been a lot of fun. So, over here we got Tommy.
Laters.
Over there we got Mike.
No fear in 2020.
And I'm JC. And as always, heels and baby faces. Remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are fake. So if you want to subscribe to the channel, click right here.
And if you want to watch more WrestleCast videos, I got 3 words for you. Click right here.